I think they should cut the final fight for The Last of Us Part 2 TV show. I understand why Ellie did what she did, but ultimately, I don't think it makes sense given the context of the scene. Let me explain. Spoilers ahead, of course. The theme of Last of Us Part 2 is jokingly referred to as revenge bad, which is honestly true, but it's a little bit more nuanced than that. I think the theme and the context of this world is to show that helping people is a lot more fulfilling than it is with hurting people. And that's really hard to do given the circumstances, but you should do it anyway. And I think that's proven with the ending. Ellie lets Abby go. It's a hard decision for her, and maybe not very fulfilling, but she wasn't going to get anything really either way. This doesn't work in the game because if you don't fight Abby, that's a fail state. If you lose the fight with Abby, that's a fail state. You have to win the fight with Abby and then give her up anyway. So no matter how you feel about the situation, it doesn't really matter. But that doesn't make sense because we, the player, are supposed to embody the role of Ellie. And my whole point is I think this could all be avoided in the show. Especially because maybe the show shouldn't end with a big fight scene. But let me explain. My big problem is, why does Ellie let Abby go after this moment? After this specific moment? It doesn't make any sense. For context, Ellie has gone all the way to Santa Barbara from Jackson, Wyoming, which is a trek, to kill Abby. She abandons her family to kill Abby and avenge Joel. This right here is her darkest moment. She does a lot of other fucked up shit, but the point is that she can't let it go. This is the only thing that she thinks will bring her fulfillment. It's why Ellie goes down her dark path. I mean, look at her. Does that look like a person who's happy and fulfilled? But again, why this moment? Why does Ellie think that this moment that she has to do the good thing and let Abby go? What has she learned from the point where she left Dina to literally right now? And this is the thing that I would like the show to emphasize if possible. Ellie does something objectively good. She frees the fucking slaves. Don't get me wrong, Ellie does not do this on purpose. This is just a stepping stone on her way to kill Abby. But it is an objectively good thing that she does. She stops human beings from enslaving other human beings by herself. This is objectively the best thing Ellie does in the entire game. She should feel good about that. She didn't do it for good reasons, and she didn't even mean to do it. But that's the lesson that Abby learned when she saved Lev and Yara. So that should be the moment for Ellie, right? I understand Ellie is supposed to be consumed by revenge. That's why she looks like this on the cover. But ultimately, this is a good thing. She should have some emotional intelligence to recognize that. And right after that, she does another good thing. She frees Abby from being basically fucking crucified. And that's why this moment especially doesn't make any sense to me. I get the idea of Ellie losing 2 of her fingers in the process of revenge. It makes sense thematically. My big problem is, why does she have the moment of clarity, the moment thinking about Joel, after getting 2 of her fingers bitten off? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it makes sense in the point of the show. The moment of clarity should come here and right here, where she frees Abby. This whole trip was always going to be for nothing. Ellie's lost everything. I understand that. Whether or not she kills Abby won't bring her any joy. But this trip wasn't for nothing. She freed Abby and Lev and all the slaves. That wasn't for nothing. This should be going through Ellie's mind. That moment of clarity should happen before, not immediately after getting 2 of your fingers bitten off in a fight to the death. So yeah, I think that's why they should cut the final find in the show, or at least change it somewhat. But if you have any other thoughts or if there's something I missed, let me know. I'm genuinely really curious. I'm open to a lot of other ideas. Okay, so while editing that video, I actually found the answer in my own question, so I made a part 2 of the video, and I'll just include that for you right here. Okay, so this is a continuation of my video discussing the ending to Last of Us Part 2, so if you don't want that spoiled for you, skip ahead, scroll. So it didn't make sense to me why Ellie lets go of killing Abby at the last possible second during this specific moment. Why does she remember Joel in this specific moment? And the answer to that question is because she loses 2 of her fingers, so therefore she can no longer have that connection to Joel with playing the guitar. And honestly, I think that's a pretty good representation of the theme. That makes sense, because there's a connection there. Ellie losing 2 of her fingers, and therefore her connection to Joel, because she can't let go of her quest for revenge, makes sense. It adds up. I get it. What doesn't make sense to me is Ellie's emotional intelligence, or lack thereof, during this scene specifically. Ellie wants revenge on Abby because she took Joel away from her. And in Ellie's mind, Abby biting off 2 of her fingers should also therefore disconnect her farther from Joel. So if Ellie has the emotional intelligence to recognize all of that in the middle of this specific moment, then why attack her in the first place? On one hand, Abby taking Joel away from Ellie, in her mind, equals she should get revenge. But when Abby takes Ellie's connection to Joel away from her, it equals no more revenge? And I understand Ellie started this fight. Abby didn't want this. And maybe she recognizes that too. But if Ellie's able to understand all of that and process all of that during this incredibly high intensity situation, death battle to avenge her father figure, then why doesn't she have any of that clarity or any semblance of that clarity before this moment? Basically, I just still don't understand why Ellie is able to go from this to this in just seconds after experiencing this. And to reiterate the point from my last video, that's why I think this scene is so important. Ellie has, or should have, that big moment of clarity right here where she does the best thing that she does in the entirety of part 2. This should be the big moment of emotional intelligence for Ellie, not this. And I want to reiterate that I think that Ellie losing 2 of her fingers in this quest for revenge is actually really good. I just don't think that Abby should be the one to do it, because to Ellie, Abby is the reason that she loses both of these connections to Joel. So yeah, that's why this moment still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm replaying the game now, so maybe on further inspection, I'll continue to have more moments of clarity. But yeah, let me know what you think if you have any thoughts.